How much is peace worth when you stand there and watch your own property being stolen right out from under you? Like, imagine coming home after 3 weeks away, sunburned and road-tired, only to see a massive yacht dock sprouting up on the edge of your lake. Not a neighborhood lake, my lake. 8 acres of cold, spring-fed water, quiet, bordered by pines my grandfather planted, sitting completely outside the reach of any HOA. I inherited it every inch, and I've got the paper trail to prove it. But what do I find? The HOA president herself, clipboard clutched like a badge, standing there barking orders at a construction crew and telling me, with a straight face, that I have no right to stop what she calls a community improvement project. Then, get this, she calls security to escort me off my own land. Yeah, that happened. Now, a younger me would have lost my mind right there, screaming, maybe breaking things. But I'm older, and I'm a hydrological engineer. I know property law, and I know the loudest voice doesn't always win, especially not against paperwork. So I just smiled, took a breath, and started paying attention. I want you to comment where you're watching from, because this is the story of how I didn't just get my lake back. I took her entire yacht dock with it. The first thing I noticed wasn't the dock. It was the sound. That low, chest-thumping grind you feel before you really hear it, rattling up through the pines. I just turned off my truck, 3:47 p.m., on a Tuesday in early June, after 11 hours on the road from North Carolina. My family cabin is a quarter-mile off the main road, tucked behind those same pines planted by Granddad back in '62. Beyond the trees, the lake sparkled. My lake, my sanctuary, 46 acres of woods and water, deeded, surveyed, taxes paid, no HOA anywhere in sight. But that grinding, no way that belonged. I followed the dirt path down, and there it was, for guys in hard hats, driving steel pilings, stacking pressure-treated lumber, a small excavator chewing up the grass my grandfather seeded by hand. It wasn't an accident. It was full-blown construction on my land. Zero warning, zero permission. Then I hear, "Excuse me, can I help you?" And here she comes. Mid-50s, gray hair tight, navy blazer in the Tennessee heat, one hand on a clipboard, the other already dialing her phone. Denise Kensington, HOA president, Queen Bee. Calm, almost bored, like I'm interrupting her important business. I point at the dock. "What is this?" She barely glances over, says, "A community improvement project approved by the board 3 months ago. Shared dock for residents and guests." I keep my voice steady. This is my property. She smiles, but her eyes stay cold. According to our HOA maps, this lake is common area. We have legal documentation. I pull up the 1987 survey map, county stamp, GPS coordinates, show her my phone. This lake is private. Always has been. She doesn't even look. "You can submit your questions in writing at the next board meeting," she says, and turns away. "If you interfere, we'll fine you $500 a day. Security's on site if you need help escorting this gentleman out." 2 guys in vests start moving my way. Construction keeps going like I'm invisible. I could have made a scene. Hell, part of me wanted to, but I remembered what my grandfather always said, paper beats noise. So I start taking pictures, wide shots, close-ups of those steel pilings, the permit taped to a post. It has a reference number, a contractor's name, a date, but no official county seal. Just a scribbled signature I couldn't read. I capture everything. Then I sit in my truck with my hands on the wheel, trying to breathe. My grandfather bought this land with 30 years of savings. He taught me to fish here when I was 6. And now someone's building a dock on his lake, telling me I'm trespassing. I open the glove box, pull out the deed, double-check the coordinates. Every inch of that lake is mine. Denise either doesn't know or just doesn't care. By the time I hit the main road, I'm calling Calvin Trent, the property attorney who handled my grandfather's estate. "Calvin, this is Wyatt Randall. I need every document on the lake and cabin. Someone's building a yacht dock and calling it HOA property. Call me back." Then I drive straight to the county recorder's office and pull every construction permit filed in the last 6 months. Nothing for a dock. Nothing for excavation. That reference number belongs to a permit for a pedestrian bridge 12 miles away, expired 2 years ago. Denise had faked the permit, copied an old number, and taped it up like it meant something. The next morning, as I'm making coffee, I get an email. Notice of violation. Lakeview Meadows HOA. You obstructed an approved project. $500 per day, fine, payment due in 10 days, or we'll pursue legal action. I forward it to Calvin. He calls me within the hour. Wyatt, your deed is ironclad. The survey from 87 matches the county's GIS. The HOA has no claim. That permit is a fake. Next step, certified letter to the HOA demanding they stop construction or we file for an injunction. Calvin drafts the letter, mails it same day. But Denise isn't waiting. She calls an emergency HOA meeting, emails every homeowner but me, spins the story that I'm blocking a community project out of selfishness, that I've been restricting access for years, that outside donors are funding the dock, and I'm costing everyone money. 37 households sign her petition. Pete, a neighbor from 3 streets over, tells me the rumor mill's in overdrive. Some folks want to boycott my consulting business. He didn't sign. Says he thought I should know. I go inside and start building my evidence file. Tax payments, land grant, survey maps, photos of the fake permit, Calvin's letter, violation notice, all in one PDF. Then I look up that permit number, RE 7742-9, on the county database. Sure enough, it's a recycled permit from a bridge project that expired years ago. Fraud, plain as day. I call Calvin. That's a criminal offense. He tells me to report it to the county building inspector right away. Then I ask, how much did this dock cost? He calls around 40 to 50 grand, maybe more. The HOA's annual budget is only $12,000. Where'd the rest come from? That night, I get a call, block number, a man's voice. You need to stop making trouble. The community doesn't want you here. Walk away while you still can. Click. I just sit there in the dark, holding my phone. This is more than a dock. This is power, and Denise just made it clear she'll do whatever it takes to keep hers. Friday morning, Roger Finch, the county building inspector, shows up, clipboard, camera, GPS. Doesn't talk much, just asks when I notice the construction, whether I'd spoken to anyone from the county. We get to the lake. He's silent for a long time, then starts snapping pictures, measuring, writing notes. He calls someone. I'm at the Randall property. No permit. Number is for a 2019 bridge project. Expired. Hangs up, turns to me. No valid construction permit. I'm issuing a stop work order. Any further construction's a misdemeanor, up to $5,000 a day. He staples a big red tag over the fake permit, then walks off. I take a picture, send it to Calvin. County issued a stop work order, prosecutor investigating fraud. Now it's time to dig deeper. I pull the HOA's financial statements, public record. In March, there's a withdrawal of $35,300 labeled Community Improvement Reserve Fund. No breakdown, just a lump sum. Meeting minutes show a vague vote for infrastructure improvements, 37 for, 5 against. No specifics. Then I find it, Kensington Hospitality LLC. Registered January 2023. Denise is the majority shareholder. 9 high-end rentals in the HOA, all managed by her, with rental rates up to $2,500 a night. On the company website, glossy photos advertise lakefront access, exclusive dock, coming soon. The motive's clear. Denise is building a commercial dock for her own rentals, using HOA money on my land. Calvin says, this is more than a property dispute. It's fraud, misappropriation of funds, and possibly theft of services. He handles the civil lawsuit. I file complaints with the state. But Denise, she thinks I'll give up, take the fines, the threats, the social pressure, and just walk. She doesn't know I've spent 15 years navigating red tape and legalese. The loudest voice never wins. The one with the evidence does. I hire a land surveyor, a drone photographer, an environmental engineering firm. The survey proves the dock sits 47 feet inside my line. Drone photos, time-stamped, georeferenced. Environmental report shows sediment levels up by 34%. All of it bound in a legal binder, indexed and cross-referenced. Ownership back to 1987, every permit, every invoice. Then a twist, Harold Patton, the hardware store owner, hands over paperwork showing $47,300 in supplies sold to the project, paid in full by cashier's check from the HOA. Only $12,000 is in the official budget. The rest? Pulled straight from the reserve fund. No disclosure. With everything lined up, Calvin files the lawsuit, seeking demolition, damages, legal fees, and, if they refuse, ownership of the dock under adverse possession. That night, I sit on the porch watching the stop work tag fluttering on the dock. Denise goes silent. No more threats. I know she's regrouping, but I'm ready. A reporter, Amelia Cross, calls after the suit's filed. I hand her everything. She runs a front-page story. Photos, financials, everything. By the afternoon, neighbors who'd signed Denise's petition are calling to apologize. 19 households retract their signatures. 7 demand Denise resign. Saturday's HOA meeting is all about her. 41 households show up. Denise tries to spin it, but the crowd's having none of it. Then Roger Finch walks in, confirms the permit is fake, and the room turns cold. Denise grabs her clipboard and leaves, doesn't come back. By Monday, she's resigned. The HOA issues a public apology, launches an audit, and Kensington Hospitality loses rental contracts overnight. The dock sits untouched. Mine, if she doesn't tear it down. The hearing comes. Judge Langford is all business. Calvin presents the evidence. Boundary survey, stop work order, invoices. Denise's lawyer tries to claim good faith, but the judge isn't having it. She orders the dock demolished at Denise's expense, $127,000 in damages, and a permanent injunction. If they don't take it down in 30 days, it's mine. They don't. The dock sits there, sun-bleached and empty. On August 6th, Calvin files for forfeiture. Judge signs off. I hire Frank, a demolition contractor, who tears it down, salvages the steel and lumber, and hands me a check for $8,400 for the scrap. I stand by the empty shore, finally feeling like the lake is mine again. But for Denise? The DA files formal charges, falsifying a public document, theft of services, criminal trespass. Her rental company folds. She loses board seats, business contracts, and in the end, the community she tried to control. Property values drop. The new HOA board launches a forensic audit, uncovering over $58,000 in questionable withdrawals. By September, I received the full damages from the HOA's insurance and used the money to restore the shoreline, fix the water quality, and build a small fishing dock, fully permitted, fully legal, a plaque mounted to a steel piling I kept from Denise's dock, built without permission, taken by law, 2025. Not out of spite, but as a reminder, property rights matter, and paperwork matters more than a clipboard. 6 months later, the lake looks right. The water's clear, the fish are back, and I walk past that piling every morning on my way down to the dock, thinking not about revenge, but about closure. Denise moves to North Carolina, her real estate license banned for 10 years. Judge Langford's ruling gets cited in similar cases across 3 states. I even get calls from lawyers asking for advice on HOA battles, me just a guy who stood his ground. One night in March, I'm sitting on the dock, fishing pole in hand, sun setting over the pines. My phone buzzes. It's a text from a stranger in Atlanta, asking how to handle an HOA trying to claim his driveway. I text back, document everything. Get a survey. Don't yell, build the case. He thanks me. I put the phone away, cast again, and breathe in the peace I fought for. So, if this story hit home, if you've ever dealt with HOA overreach or just care about property rights and fairness, share your experience in the comments. Tell folks where you're watching from. And if you believe in holding power accountable, in doing the hard, quiet work of standing up for what's right, support the channels that bring these stories to light. Because justice doesn't just happen. It takes work, it takes patience, and sometimes all it takes is someone who refuses to be quiet. I got my lake back, not with anger, but with evidence and the law. And if I can do it, you can too. 7.